So I want to talk about Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is one of the most controversial players in NBA history. He makes himself accessible to the media, kind of unlike any other basketball player we've ever seen, because Kevin Durant literally responds to people on Twitter, on Instagram. There's been multiple times where he's called out the likes of Skip Bayless, Chris Broussard, even Stephen A. Smith at one point kind of, got into things with his mother. It wasn't personal, but, they invited her on the show First Take, and Stephen A. questioned Kevin Durant going to Golden State, and then Miss Durant came at Stephen A. Smith and basically said, no one questioned you when you wanted to go to ESPN to elevate your brand. So when it comes to Kevin Durant, there's a lot of crazy conversations, but Kevin Durant is a darn great basketball player. And in year number 15, we just saw Kevin Durant nearly average 30 points on 55, 40, and 90 splits. 55% from the field, 40% from three, and 90% from the free throw line. That's the first time that has ever been done in the history of basketball. 55, 40, and 90. And there's a lot of conversations about Kevin Durant. Did he do enough in Oklahoma City? The way he left that city, a lot of people have beef with him. Are Kevin Durant's titles legit in Golden State? Did he tear down the Brooklyn Nets, which I think is a very delusional argument to make? Can he win a title with the Phoenix Suns? That is a real question that will be answered eventually very soon. But a lot of Kevin Durant debates are silly and unfair, not only to Kevin Durant, the basketball player, but just Kevin Durant, the human being in general. I want to talk some basketball in regards to Kevin Durant. Have we seen the best of Kevin Durant up to this point? We're in the year 2023, and 2024 will be here pretty soon before we know it. It's been 5 years since Kevin Durant won an NBA championship. It's been 8 years since Kevin Durant has won a regular season MVP award. Kevin Durant is approaching his age 35 season. And along the lines of his career, which has been great, he suffered a broken foot, a torn Achilles, and multiple ankle and lower body injuries. The last time Kevin Durant played over 60 games was in 2018. He's been injury prone the latter part of his career up to this point. And the last two postseasons versus Boston, I got to tell you, I didn't recognize Kevin Durant. They got after Kevin Durant. Now, were they going to win a championship that year? Probably not. The Brooklyn Nets did not have the coaching. They did not have the roster to do so. But I expected Kevin Durant to put his imprint on that series much more better than he did. And I got to be honest, in that 4-game sweep, I was not all that impressed with Kevin Durant. And we even saw this past year versus the Denver Nuggets. He got his numbers. He looked good. He played pretty well, but there were some inefficient games where he was missing even open looks by his standards. And we just got to really ask the question, has Kevin Durant peaked? His game has changed over the past couple of years. Ever since his Achilles tear, I don't think he's been quite as explosive. He does not get to the basket as much. He relies so heavily much on pull-up jump shots, and that's fine because he's Kevin Durant, but at times that type of style of play can fizzle out in the playoffs. I don't see Kevin Durant getting to the basket at will like he used to in Oklahoma City, where he would just get to the rim with those long 7-foot strides and just take over. There was usually no answer for Kevin Durant defensively back in the day. Now, I'm not saying there's necessarily an answer for him defensively now, but I got to tell you, it's a fair basketball question to ask because we're looking at a guy like Kevin Durant, who in Oklahoma City averaged 32 points per game in his MVP season, got to multiple conference finals, got to an NBA finals, and put up a valiant effort versus LeBron James. We saw Kevin Durant in Golden State absolutely make that team a dynasty and a super team. 35 points per game on 70% true shooting versus a LeBron James-led Cleveland Cavaliers team in 2017. That's unheard of. And now Kevin Durant has Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton, once again, another new head coach. And again, I respect Frank Vogel, but at some point, this cycle has to be getting old for Kevin Durant. So to answer the question, have we seen the best of Kevin Durant? I'll simply answer by saying, I believe we are past Kevin Durant's physical prime as far as his peak goes, okay? I don't think Kevin Durant is quite as explosive of an athlete as he used to be, just because he has sustained so many injuries. He has gotten older. His game has evolved. However, I will say this. I believe Kevin Durant has at least one more all-time great finishing act left in him. What do I mean by that? What I mean is, despite the fact that Kevin Durant has had to change his game, kind of fine-tune some things just because of the injuries he sustained and the age he is as a player. Like, he's 35 years old. He's no longer 27, okay, you get what I'm saying? But Kevin Durant has a chance to, even as a lesser version of himself, still help lead a team to an NBA championship. I still believe we can see an all-time kick butt playoff run from Kevin Durant with the Phoenix Suns, because I still believe Kevin Durant is an all-time great player. He's an amazing scorer. He's playing great defense, maybe even more consistently being better on the defensive end than I've ever seen in his career up to this point. He's still a very good playmaker, very solid rebounder. He knows how to play team basketball. He's been there and done that. And he's got a pretty decent supporting cast with Devin Booker, Bradley Beal's coming in now. We'll see how the rest of the roster rounds out, but I would not count out Kevin Durant. I still think Kevin Durant is an amazing player, and even Kevin Durant being a lesser version of himself, because he has such a great basketball IQ, because he's such a talented scorer, I could see Kevin Durant winning another championship or making another deep playoff run before he officially hangs up those sneakers. So that's how I feel about Kevin Durant. There's a very good chance he could help lead the Phoenix Suns to their first ever NBA championship, but only time will tell.